provided by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about future mobility and market evolution in CW 20 and 30. Frennis is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a shortcut to getting really well informed about the fast-moving world of next-gen vehicles and mobility. We've pulled together the key insights from calendar weeks 29 and 30, straight from LinkedIn, curated specifically for you, a professional right in the thick of the mobility industry.
That's right. And in this deep dive, we're aiming to go beyond just, reporting headlines. We're going to unpack the top future mobility trends, the market evolution points that decision makers are really watching, and, of course, how tech players are pushing ahead with autonomous and connected solutions. We'll touch on policy signals, infrastructure upgrades, new business models, all pushing towards these integrated low-carbon mobility systems.
Right. It's a real snapshot of where things stand. Okay, let's kick things off. First big theme, micromobility and shared mobility. Seems like there's always something new here, but what really stood out in the last couple of weeks?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is seeing European operators position things like car sharing and e-scooters less as niche options and more as mainstream alternatives to owning a car. Frederick Hilm from Voi, for example, he frames micromobility as a key to unlocking the city. It's about personal freedom, getting back time wasted in traffic. He even shared a story, quite personal, about his co-founder Douglas using an e-scooter to regain freedom after a foot injury. Sort of a way out. It changes the perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. A powerful reframe. Not just transport, but autonomy. And it seems backed up by market shifts, too. Selena Sunner highlighted analysis predicting the European car-sharing market hitting, 755,000 vehicles and 138 million members by 2029. That's huge.
It is. It shows a real shift towards shared access, pushed by tech and sustainability goals.
And Ruggiero Goddard takes it even further, suggesting micromobility could make car ownership genuinely optional, even driving a whole gig economy. That points to a massive transformation.
Exactly. Huge opportunity. But there are definitely pressures showing up. Brandon Chu pointed out insurance barriers, especially for scooter operators in Europe. They're hindering market entry, leading to consolidation. He argues scooters are often insured like cars, inappropriately, creating kind of moat for the big early players. It raises a key question, how do you foster innovation if the rules aren't keeping up?
That's crucial for policymakers. If we want micromobility to actually compete with cars, Tom Nutley argues we need to treat it like public transport, stable funding, proper infrastructure.
Right, like protected lanes, charging hubs.
Yeah, not just painted lines on the road. And we're seeing this work. Christina Mogajerde from Voi reported a huge surge in Oslo, over 100,000 rides during one event weekend. Shows the demand is there when it's supported.
Right. And Jim Hubbard, also Voi, noted over 20,000 e-bike rides quickly in Ealing, London. Parking density helps, and affordability is key. Their bikes average just £1.60 a trip.
Cheap and convenient.
And it's not just the usual big European cities. Marcus Damon shared some amazing pictures from Lhasa in Tibet. Electric micromobility, especially e-scooters, are super popular there. People even use them for bulky items. But that popularity also brings challenges. Authorities put up dense barriers in pedestrian areas, which ironically hinders parents with strollers, people in wheelchairs.
The classic urban planning dilemma, balancing different needs.
Exactly. And Gunnar Nerke also reinforced that broader point. Car sharing, as it grows, really helps with climate goals, traffic relief, social inclusion. It's about changing behavior, not just swapping vehicle types.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears. Moving from the street to the workplace, how is mobility impacting companies and their employees now?
This is where it gets really strategic, I think. Sebastian Tanzer highlighted a circular benefits report. Get this, 82% of employees prioritize mobility benefits over things like fruit baskets in 2025.
Wow, 82%. That's definitive.
It really is. It's not a perk anymore. It's a core advantage in the talent war. Flexible, tax-optimized mobility budgets up to €2,400 a year. That makes a real difference. Progressive packages are becoming essential.
So companies need to think door to desk. Mark Zarrell noted rail travel is booming in Germany, 77%, choosing it over flights on some routes. That's pushing companies to integrate rail into their corporate policies. It's about emissions, sure, but also employee well-being, company image.
Right, the whole experience. And technology is playing a big role, too. Sandra Dragosevac shared how Holofly moved into enterprise eSIMs with Holofly for Business. For companies, this means instant eSIM activation for global teams, central data management, slashing roaming costs, reducing carbon footprint. pretty compelling.
Yeah, that connectivity piece is crucial.
Yeah. And Al Reed pointed out the boom in e-bike fleets, corporate and private, across Europe. Cheaper, more sustainable than car fleets. Though, he notes, safe charging and locking are still big hurdles.
Right, the practicalities. We also saw Judith Heberly from Urban Connect talking with Wolfram Ehrlich from Go FLUX. They discussed how sustainable B2B mobility startups are growing differently.
Yeah, focusing on substance, customer loyalty, not just chasing massive funding rounds. It shows mobility can really shift behavior inside companies. A more mature scaling approach.
And Sarah Winkowski, citing Maggie Porter, added another layer. Strategic empathy and handling complex immigration issues. That's a huge factor in global talent mobility.
Definitely. And Katharina Schmidt from Arval Mobility Observatory noted how companies are actively driving sustainability, that fleet changes, inclusive policies, corporate car sharing, digital tools, emphasizes honest dialogue.
Okay, let's switch to autonomous and advanced mobility. This always feels like the bleeding edge. What's the latest big news?
Well, the biggest headline has to be Tesla. It's making very aggressive moves.
Ah, yes. What specifically?
Harry Topman and Philip Koopman both highlighted Tesla's flat fare autonomous ride pilot in Austin, $4.20 a ride, and their plan for San Francisco, deploying without permits, using Level 2 FSD classification.
Level 2, but aiming for robotaxi service. That's pushing it.
It is. And Koopman raises serious safety concerns. He mentioned horrific human factors, potential for a mishap sooner rather than later due to issues with a remote driver system. It's a real gamble.
Yeah, a gamble between speed and safety validation. Could a mishap hurt public trust overall?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Trust is fragile, but the competition is fierce. Hans Christian Handback detailed Uber's big push.
What's Uber up to?
A multi-pronged approach. $300 million into Lucid for over 20,000 luxury Gravity SUVs using Neuro's tech, plus deploying thousands of electric autonomous VWID, buzz vans.
Wow, okay, so they're really trying to scale fast to catch players like Waymo.
Exactly. Waymo's already doing over 250,000 rides a week. Uber also had a successful driverless pilot in Saudi Arabia. Youssef Abusef highlighted that, showing the kingdom's push under Vision 2030. Bryce Carlson from Lucid confirmed their excitement about that partnership.
The scale of investment is just incredible. And beyond robotaxis.
We're seeing progress in automated mobility hubs, too. Gerald Wolfarth introduced BreakWorld 24/7 fully automated hubs, unmanned service stations, robotic stores, self-cleaning restrooms, tackling staffing issues.
Interesting. Service stations of the future.
Pretty much. And Nicholas Ritzel shared a test drive with Kira, an autonomous Level 4 shuttle. He sees huge potential for sustainable public transport, especially helping rural areas with driver shortages.
That fits with Rigiri Godard's transportation as a service idea, right? Less car ownership, AVs filling gaps.
Precisely. Harry Topman called it potentially an iPhone moment for transport. And it's not just ground vehicles. Jira Rasamni mentioned Aeromobile, the car that turns into a plane. Still interest in those eVTOL hybrids.
Flying cars, still.
Seems so. And Yvonne Winter showcased FlyNow Aviation, Skyroads, Salam.Earth, working together on a whole automated urban air mobility ecosystem. The cybermechanical age, she calls it.
Wild stuff. Okay, final theme then. How are cities themselves rethinking mobility, planning, infrastructure? What's new there?
Faisal Arif shared Riyadh's big goal, 20-minute neighborhoods, everything within a short walk or bike ride. That really challenges car dependency.
So shifting from car-first to human-first design.
Exactly. Thinking about green corridors, microparks, and empty lots to make walking pleasant, even in heat. Turning dead spaces into active spaces.
That's inspiring. And ties into integrated hubs, I suppose. Dr. Phil Evans emphasized user-centered design for these hubs.
Yeah, moving beyond just timetables, making them places people want to use to switch modes, bikes, buses, rail.
Though Russell King pointed out a Dublin study showing hubs alone aren't enough. People stick to familiar modes. Better cycling infrastructure is key for actual bike uptake. Makes sense. We've built cities for cars for a century.
It does. Robin Tyne also shared Scotland's pop-up mobility hub project, testing demand, engaging users. It's crucial.
And changing habits is tough. What about logistics?
Fascinating idea here from Eric Wersing. Underground delivery systems. He highlighted projects like Cargo Souterrain in Switzerland, Smart City Loop in Germany.
Underground, how does that work?
Emissions-free, quiet, traffic-independent deliveries via tunnels, turning congestion into, as he put it, clean, quiet tunnels of possibility. Artemis Fredkopoulos also stressed the need for innovative last-mile solutions like SLANT, seeing daily congestion as proof.
That is truly disruptive. Wow. And on the tech infrastructure side?
Steve Taylor introduced PhotonFi's Li-Fi technology light fidelity. Using light waves, not radio waves. He calls it the missing layer in networks.
Li-Fi. Why is that significant?
It operates outside the crowded radio spectrum, offers room-level security, it's EMI-free. A new connectivity layer for V2X, vehicle-to-everything communication, vital for connected cars.
Got it. And 5G plays a role too.
Absolutely. Sergio Rivera Cuevas dug into 5G mobility management standalone versus non-standalone networks. He highlighted things like beam mobility.
Beam mobility?
Yeah, it's basically how the network follows a moving vehicle to maintain a super stable connection. Crucial for safe, autonomous driving.
Shows how deep the tech goes.
It really does. We also saw tools like Mohammed Vahidi Borji's WebGIS dashboard in Chicago for real-time crash analysis using open data. Or Thibaut Castagno using data in Helsinki to improve e-scooter safety. Data is key for smarter cities.
And on the mega project scale?
Charles Phillips outlined IDIOM's The Line, a car-free vertical city. 6 mobility layers, high-speed rail, metro, micromobility, designed for a 5-minute walkability, longest trip under 30 months. Lawyer Seinberg from Beta Mobility is even using AI to count parked cars from the air in Nordic cities to rethink public space use.
Amazing ambition. But it's happening locally too, right?
Definitely. Andres Jarks shared Hamburg's plan for a new U3 subway access point for growing areas. Peter Griffiths highlighted Ireland's SSMA accelerator, empowering local action.
Like Athlon's all-electric town bus.
Exactly, and shared bike companies. It shows local efforts can have national impact. Chris Wade also noted the ongoing evolution of mobility hubs, ensuring they serve mobility, not just parking, and focus on pricing transparency and user satisfaction.
So it's happening at all levels.
Absolutely. Roger Williams from Digital Ties sees smart mobility as a core net zero strategy, building an ecosystem platform connecting EV drivers, micromobility users, transport networks. He projects removing 450,000 petrol cars.
Huge impact. Raises that question Anastasia Galakshunova posed. Are we focused on traffic management or behavior change? Or both?
Right, especially when behavior can predict incidents better than just traffic volume sometimes. Emil Pabst reminded us the focus must stay on the human needs, values, access. And Christian Warning celebrated Costner Giro UP 1947, a family hub redefining mobility with innovation and community focus. It's that integrated future.
Okay, that's a lot to digest. If you enjoyed this deep dive, remember, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. You can also check out our other editions on electrification and battery technology, next-gen vehicle intelligence, and commercial fleet insights. It's been really fascinating seeing how policy, infrastructure, tech are all converging to reshape how we move and live.
Absolutely. These insights from LinkedIn really drive home that the future of mobility isn't just faster cars or, fancier tech. It's a fundamental rethink. Our cities, our workplaces, even personal freedom.
So something to think about. As you look ahead, what aspect of urban mobility are you most excited to see totally transformed? And maybe more importantly, what role might you play in making that happen? Thanks for joining us, and remember to subscribe to The Deep Dive.